What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of Sword Art Online Season 2, Episode 20. And the episode itself is actually pretty simple, and it's mainly setup and story building. But the episode itself, it starts off where we have Asuna. Of course, now she with Zekin or Zekon, and we see now that Zekin or Yuuki, because that right there is her real name. We see now that she actually has her own guild, and they're called the Sleeping Knights. And for some reason, I really like their name, but we see that Sleeping Knights, so far there's only 6 of them, and we learn now that they all met through some kind of community. And it pretty much became friends, rather quickly. But it seems that their time playing together, it might be coming to an end. And so before that, they all have this goal where they'll make the memory, of something that of course, they did together, and it will last like a lifetime. And so their plan is they actually want to defeat the boss. Well, they actually want to beat the boss on this floor, or I believe it was the 26th floor, but pretty much they all have this goal to beat this boss with only 7 people, because if you do that, then all the members of the party, they will appear on some kind of memorial that you can find in the starting city. And the thing is, though, they only do it with 7, because if they do it with more, because normally I believe they said that parties, they are done with 49 members, being invited into parties of 7, but pretty much those parties, when that happens, then only the leader name will get put on there. But if you do it in one party with only 7 members, then everyone's name will get put on there, and that's why they want to keep it so small, because all the names will be on there, and anytime they would look at it, they instantly remember that and all they did. And so pretty much that right there was the only reason why Yuuki here had those duels, because she wanted to find somebody skilled enough to help them out with this. And so Asuna told her that there were probably people a lot stronger than her, especially Kirito. And so she asked her, how come she not go to Kirito and get him, because he was strong, and she did admit that, but she said that it would not work out, because he did to discover her secret about her living in this world. So that right there was a bit weird. I do wonder why that her secret being exposed. I do wonder why that right there will stop her from asking Kirito, besides a story point, because obviously Kirito is definitely skilled, and for what he did at the end right there, he might join them. But I don't know if that right there will be possible, because obviously they already have 7, and the Kirito joins them. I'm pretty sure that right there will mess it up, and they can't get the names on there. But we see now that Asuna, she does put in helping them, and we see that they were all happy about that. And so the next day they were all going to meet up, but we see now that when they were parting ways, out of nowhere something happened with Asuna, and at first I was kind of worried, because that right there was weird, because we had never seen a player like that get disconnected. But at first I thought maybe it was some kind of mind game or something, but then when I saw disconnect on the screen right there, I figured that something happened in the real world. And we see now that her mother came in there and yanked the cord out, because once again Asuna was late for dinner. And I was surprised, though, that a month has passed so far since last episode, where we have Asuna pretty much telling her mother off. I was surprised that a month has passed from that, but apparently it has. But we see now that that her mother, once again her mother was just being so cold and so evil, that Asuna didn't even want to have dinner with her, because she told her that she didn't want any. And we see now that Asuna, she had got dressed and she went out, and we see that while she was out, once again, Asuna is personally, I believe that Asuna has way too much pressure on her in the real world. That is why we saw her kind of break it down when she was alone, because you see now that I believe she was like in a park or something, and it started snowing, but you could also see a tear fall down from her eye as well. And then she had her phone out, like she was going to call Kirito, and I don't know why she didn't do it, but for some reason, she had stopped herself from like calling him. But then we go back to the game now, where they're in this dungeon, and their plan of the day is to go to the boss room, to like check on it, because obviously they want to see what kind of boss it is. And while they were going there, Asuna definitely said something was wrong, and she like used some kind of spell. And that spell had revealed these players that were like lying in wait for them, and right away, when like Asuna saw their mark, she like definitely recognized them. But eventually they go to the boss room, and these guys here, they were like claiming to be waiting for their friend. But we see that that's a real goal. They like summoned some kind of lizard, and that right there followed them into the boss room. But while they were in the boss room, I will say that the way that the boss had materialized, to me, that right there was like kind of freaking cool. I liked that. I was digging that. But the boss itself is obviously like the same one that we see from the opening, and that right there is like is one problem I have with like some anime, where it would like spoil so much in the opening, because that right there already tells you like what's going to happen. So there'll be no surprise on our guessing, because you already know what's going to happen. But we do see that boss has appeared, and for some reason like they did not show that fight, but obviously they were all wiped out. And when they went back to the city, Asuna definitely realized something was wrong, because one of those players, like they got some of that lizard that allowed them to see everything that was going on in the boss room, even though they were not in there. So these players, all this time, they have been following like Sleepy Knights around, and they've been getting info off of them, because Sleepy Knights, they would go into the boss room, like plan to be all these bosses, by themselves, in a party of 6 or 7. And we see now that this other guild, like they were taking all this info and they would beat it, before Sleepy Night could. And so that right there was like definitely slimy and shady. But that right there, is how it was working. But Asuna here, because even though everybody else was like getting, kind of ticked off for the press, Asuna, was like definitely staying strong. And she actually had like this brilliant idea, where obviously, like all these players, it would take them, some time to get everybody they got needed for this. So Asuna had the idea that if they go in there before the guild can get all their players, then that right there, will allow them to clear it before they can. But when they went back there, I believe it was like 20 or so, or a little more than 20 players already there, and there was like this one guy who would not let them pass no matter what. And so pretty much, Yuuki here, she got kind of ticked off, and we see now that she pretty much like told the guy, let's fight, because obviously if he would not move out the way, voluntarily, that she had no choice, but to use force. And so we see now that once again, Yuuki is no joke. She was actually, beating him pretty easily. And we see now that like his other guild members, of course, like they were getting, like very agitated. And we see now that that Yuuki, her words to Asuna before she had fighted, like I believe she said something like you could only learn certain things by like fighting. And we see that those words, they really got to Asuna, and thank God she put away the like puny stick, and she brought out her sword, because now now her and Yuuki can actually fight together. And so we see now that because Asuna was like held back a little bit, that right there allowed all those players to like join them. But then we had Kirito, who like in the back, and of course there was no way he would ever fight or betray Asuna. And so we see him like bringing out some kind of matrix move where he like boosts his own speed, and everything else seems so slow. And he actually, ran up the wall and got in front of them. And so now he put a sword on the ground, and he told them that the area, that this area was off limits, just like how the other guy, told Asuna and them that the ballroom was off limits. And so now we have Kirito, I'm guessing, temporarily joining them, because obviously, like Kirito probably can't go into the boss room, but he can definitely take out, this guild. And I'm pretty sure, all the players know who Kirito is because he's definitely a well-known player. So they all might actually fear him and not want to fight him. But the episode itself, it was good. Like I said, it was built up. We have like more focus on Asuna, which is definitely not a bad thing because, like I said in my last review, I felt like she should get more attention because supposedly she is the main girl now. But the episode itself, it was definitely decent, so I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. But of course, I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on this. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.